Hey guys, check it out. We got another antenna from GooZeeZoo. This one is an indoor multifunctional active loop antenna. Let's open up that box. I'll show you what's inside. Let's get that filler out of there. I've already had this out and playing with it. I did try to wrap everything back up the way it was, but it's close enough. In here we get well, start with the base. This is an amplified indoor antenna. And it just uses a USB-C. We'll take those caps off. We have BNC connectors on here. And then the antenna. Hey, you know what? Let's take this all right out of the box. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it out of the box. Get the box out of the way. All right, let's start this back. We got the base of the antenna. Like I said, it has two BNC connectors. And if you notice, there's also one on the base of the antenna. We just slip that on there, tighten it up. Look at that. We got a base to stand that antenna up with. And we got the caps. You already saw me pull those off to protect those BNCs when it's not in use. And they give you a few adapter cables. We get this cable here that will plug directly into that base. And that works great with... Oh, I had to reach around you. Works great with a radio like this one. This has an antenna jack on the top. That's a, what do they call it, 3.5 millimeter. A mono jack, or as people from my generation know it, an 1/8 inch mono jack. And we have another one back here. This radio is kind of a weird one. This has so many antenna connections on it. But we can use that antenna on this radio, which is what I'm going to use the antenna for, is this radio. All right, let's get back to that antenna. This isn't a video for that radio. And yeah, as you can see, you can spin it to bring stations in better. Kind of reminds me of like an old TV rabbit ears. It's got a great big loop. All right, the other cables we just went over that one. We have a BNC to BNC. That would be, oh, I don't know, I guess to extend the length or to use with other adapters and use a short length like this is. Because in this bag, we have, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's an SMA. And that can plug right into that coax. And then you have something that needs that connector, you have the adapter. They also send a roller coax so that you can locate this thing in a better location in your shack and have it so it's not picking up any interference from other things in your shack. I do like that they did that. I mean, these are sufficient. These are long enough to set that antenna, oh, I don't know, 6 feet away from the radio. But this one will get you even more distance. And actually, this one is an extension cord for these. That end will plug in to the base, and then these cords will plug onto there. So that's pretty much just a good long extension cord that they included with the antenna, which I do love that. And we have the USB-C charging cable, which I showed you earlier, plugs right in over here. And I noticed I said that it's a charging cable, not a power cable. Look at that, it's got batteries inside. So once you charge it, you can move about your house without worrying about the cord. You can still use the antenna. Like if I wanted to take that radio into my bedroom, well, I could just bring the antenna with me and not have to worry about powering it, because it's got a battery. I will have to test that and see just how long it'll run off of the battery. I don't remember seeing that in the included paperwork, but there's not a whole lot of paperwork with this. We have this one card. That's what came with the antenna. So on this card, it gives you the basic information. It receives from 10 kilohertz up to 159 megahertz. I'm going to play with it a lot, and I'm going to see just how well it works. I do have another version of this antenna that I will be doing a review video pretty soon, which is the outdoor version and is probably 4 times the size of that loop. And it comes with a fiberglass mast. But I'm not going to tell you any more about that one because today we're working on this antenna, and I'm going to mess around with this one and see what we can get. Alright, I'll just show you where I'm going to put the antenna. It's going to go right on the window here, and the curtain's going to hold it in place. I'm just showing you where it is first, because once the curtain's over it, we won't see it anymore. Alright, well, I guess I was wrong. We can still see it. Alright, let's go over to the radio. Well, I think I chose poorly on the radio I decided to use, because this thing is a nuisance. When you move frequencies, listen. Let me turn that up some. It goes silent in between each one. So if you try to go quick, you're not going to hear anything. You got to go slow. I definitely chose the wrong radio. Unfortunately, this is the one that I have at hand at the moment. So let's just see. Let's go up to channel 19. The one good thing about this radio is we have this button here. Actually, let's extend that antenna. Because with this button right here, we have a choice of 3 different antennas. Currently, we're on the external loop. That is the telescopic antenna that comes with the radio. And that is the internal loop antenna. Let's turn that down. We don't need it that loud. Let's go back to that external. And let's just see if we can find any activity anywhere. What a nuisance this radio is. And now it's going to go in scan mode. Let's see if it's picking up anything. It is. That's the external loop. That's the antenna from GooZeeZoo. GooZeeZoo. I keep messing up that name. GooZeeZoo. That's the telescopic antenna, which doesn't receive quite as well. And the internal loop isn't hearing that guy at all. That's the telescopic. That's the internal. And that's the GooZeeZoo antenna. Let me try. Oh, look at that, it just got better. There is a, for that antenna, for certain frequencies, you shut the receive amp off on that antenna, and you run it as just the antenna. And evidently here on 27 megahertz, it works better with the amp off on it. So the receive amp is off on that antenna. But it is receiving better than both of the built-in antennas on this radio. And I don't have that antenna up high in the air, and I'm also not turning it. Motormouth Mall is who we're hearing. He's in California, and the antenna right now is pointing north and south. He's west of me. So, it's definitely working well. Even though that antenna is not turned in the right direction, it's still picking up better than both of the internal antennas on the radio. All right, I'm going to stop testing because this radio is just annoying me. So, we're going to put the radio aside. All right, well, we got a better receiving radio hooked up now. Unfortunately, it's just a 40-channel CB, but... And we'll wait a second, see if Motormouth Mall keys up again, and see how well we can hear him on this radio with that antenna connected to this radio now. We're actually hearing some other people in there, too. He got down. I'm actually kind of surprised. Look how low the noise level is. It's one of the features on this antenna is that it has noise reduction built into it. Go down at the bottom of that paragraph. And its noise control effect is 20% higher than that of the GA450 under the same environmental conditions. Oh, actually, that wasn't the part we needed to read. Has built-in signal amplification circuit and noise suppression circuit. There we go. That was a part we should have started at the beginning. Yeah, I know better. I always want the end of the story first. All right. I guess that's it. This is the... oh, what are we? We are a Deshibo. And this is put out by GooZeeZoo. It's a multifunctional active loop antenna. It's made for indoor use, but they say that you can water seal the antenna and mount it outside if you wanted to. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I have an outdoor version of this antenna, so this one is going to continue to be an indoor antenna. All right, guys. I'll put a link in the description of where you can find this antenna. I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.